So, hello all and welcome to Robinson Training. My name is Rikun Sindwar and I'm a cybersecurity professional over 5 years of experience in the field. This is the continued video for the course Advanced Network Exploitation Expert. The course gives you basic to advanced understanding of network exploitation or network penetration testing. It is useful if you are tackling or if you are working for a company doing some network pen testing internally or externally. This will give you an overall idea. So if you're watching this video for the first time, I always recommend everyone to watch from the first video of this particular section. So this might be not the right video for you at the time. If you're watching for the first time, you can always check the initial video of this particular topic or particular section. If you like, of course, you can always hit the subscribe button. That will gradually move my subscribers at the level up. And of course, your comments will be appreciated. So comment below what you find or what you find useful. Have you liked it? If you find something is wrong over there, then always comment below. Your comment really makes me feel a little proud that yeah, I'm doing something for the community and at least getting some acknowledgement that yeah, people watching, people loving this particular themes. So that's being said, let's move over our practical video. So we are already done with few of the topics within our course, and we are done with the exploitation explanation. What is Metasploit exploits? And we are done with the first case study of bad blue RC for the initial access. The second one, when you know the credentials for the particular thing, then how you can utilize your Metasploit to gain initial access over the victim system. So this is a continued video for the course Advanced Network Exploitation Expert. And we are continuing our module 1, third section, which is Metasploit all the thing. So for this particular task, we will assume that we have username and a password for the user account over a particular system. And the credential will be Rob and Rob. Let's assume that you got from from XYZ site or from XYZ assessment or from the phishing, let's say. But you got some credential and you got one IP address, which is this victim IP address. And what you got to know is a victim has only one single service exposed over the internet, and that is MSSQL. So now using this MSSQL, how you can gain your initial access over the particular system using Metasploit exploit that we will be looking through. So we'll start with the first stage, which is scanning through Nmap, of course. So I'll copy this out just to save time a little. And always add O and capital N for saving this particular Nmap result. This is the best practice that I always recommend everyone. And if there are more ports, I should prefer to go with the minimum rate or some timing templates, but this is just a single port and that should be enough. So let's assume that, yeah, there is a server that instead of this 1433 as a specified, you specified all the ports and what you got is only one single port open, that is 1433, which is running Microsoft SQL Server. Now, your task would be to gain remote code execution or a Meterpreter shell over this particular machine. And you have the credential for the particular user. You have the credential for the user. You cannot do RDP. You cannot do WinRM. What all you can do is to utilize this 1433 port in order to move inside. So for that, again, I'll just boot up my Metasploit MSFDB run. This is the best way to start your Metasploit always, because it will start your database, it will start MSF console, and yeah, of course, you will be inside MSF console. Perfect. The reason behind this MSF console, you can always hit this history. You'll get all the result. You can also type targets, and some commands are there that will going to list if you have any faded target. If you by mistakenly stop this Metasploit or crash this Metasploit or system, you will always have that somewhere stored within the database. So that's the reason I always recommend to go with MSFDB run that I already explained. Hope you have watched that particular video. So that being said, what I do got to know is yes, I do have MSSQL server. I do have internal system or internal user username and password, and I need to get remote command execution or my interpreter shell. So again, moving back to MSF and search for MSSQL. What I want is, and I want exploit for the same. So I just hit enter. I get all the different exploits for MS SQL. What I want is something here. The first one says Microsoft SQL Server payload execution. I have already explained what the payload is, Metapreter, and there are some more. And it will going to execute that, right? So this is something interesting. If you got somewhere SQL injection and not the MS SQL service exposed, then you can use this one as well. This will utilize that SQL injection and execute your malicious payload, your malicious Trojan. Let's see how it works. So what I'm going to do, I'll go with the 10th one. So use index value 10, and I will be within this particular exploit. Just typing option to list down all the different options that are allowed and that are required, of course. So our host set our host 10.0.0.15 set I know the user name, which is R0B, set password, which is R0B again. This is just a dummy machine that I have created. And this is the user account and not the MS SQL service. So I need to just change this Windows authentication for this particular task. If it is a SA account or any MS SQL specific user, then I would keep it false. But this is the computer user account that I already told earlier, right? So I'll just going to set this use underscore Windows auth agent to true. Now everything seems to be fine. I'll just hit option. It'll going to give you some method if you want to provide any other than CMD, like PowerShell or some old way. There are some other optional options that you can provide. If your service is not running on 1433, then you can always change. And yeah, there are more options. You can just type advanced option and you'll get more options as well. So for our task, it seems to be fine. The payload that we're going to execute is Metapreter reverse TCP. Lhost lport is fine for our task, and let's just execute that. It started our TCP handler. It has started some stager process. It will going to, of course, upload that binary or payload over that particular server in a staged manner. And it's done, and I got my Metapreter session open. And I always type get UID to get through whom I'm authenticated as. So it says I am MS SQL server. That proves that this particular session is received from the MS service. So I always type sysinfo, and yeah, it's a Windows 10 64-bit machine which is updated recently, and Defender is closed, of course. I haven't did any bypass for this Defender or AV. And there are more commands which I can always utilize. Get prev. Get prev is another interesting command that I always look once I get such a shell, getting all the privileges. And there are some privileges that could be abused in order to do some privilege escalation tasks, such as SE impersonate, of course. So I'm going to showcase this in the right manner. So don't worry for the moment. We are just focused for this learning Metasploit framework and how you can utilize this exploits, how you can load it up, how you can run it, and so on and so forth. There are some more options. Command always just give it a try, and that's it. That's all. So this is all planned for this particular video for this particular topic. And there will be more cases to learn this exploit part, not just for initial access. There will be for privilege escalation and whatnot. But the moral of the story is to learn Metasploit framework in a right manner. So here I have given all the different steps, all the different stages. So you can always go check out and give it a try on your own. Setting up a MSSQL server won't be that difficult. You can always hit Google for that. And if you want this particular lab to be shared, you can always reach out to me over Telegram, LinkedIn, or probably to Twitter. So that's it. That's all. That's all for this particular video. And if you like it, of course, hit that like thumbs up. And if you really find something useful, comment below. If you want any additional things to be added here, of course, comment is the right way to approach me. And that's it. That's all. See you next time.